Hey man, Hebron Ben Bilal coming back at you, man, with another edition of these Backyard Chronicles. Today's topic is I want to discuss how this woman that you see on my right, would be your left, is cooking up some nice little tasty victuals. And you all know her, cooking up some nice little tasty victuals for this organization here. But before we jump into that, man, you know what it is. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Hebron Ben Bilal is back with those Backyard Chronicles again, saying what you would love to say, but you're just too PC to say it. Okay, before we jump into this subject matter, man, I want to give a shout out to Kenya Lee. It's my sister, man. She does a lot of good things, and I've talked about her before. She does a lot of good things out of Columbus, Ohio, man. She does clothing drives, she does food drives, sporting events. She does a lot, man, for the community down there in Columbus, man. And I just wanted to give her a shout out and kind of put her little stuff up on my little thing, man. She actually is having a coat and hat drive, gloves for the winter for the kids right now as we speak. There's her information, Kenya S. Lee, and also Kenya Spencer. If you want to drop $1, $5, $2, $10, man, in the little pot, you ain't got to be from Columbus, man. She's not a non for profit. She just does this because she just loves her community and she does what's good for our people, man. And that's a beautiful thing. So I always want to give shouts out. And if you know of another organization that's in the community, a small organization, a group of people who are doing good things in the community, man, drop it in the description below, man. And I'll give them a shout out. I don't have a lot of viewers, but the ones that I do, they'll get the information and maybe they'll donate. Also, man, if you haven't gotten a copy of the book yet, man, The Three Woes by Hebron Ben Bilal, man, you need to go get a copy now. It's my autobiography. It's my first published book. Thank you. It's my autobiography. It's the first published book. And actually, I continue to promote it. And at this particular time, I want to say to any Israelite who is watching this, and I have a lot of new Israelite friends on my Facebook page, so you should be getting this. Man, go check it out. Get a copy of it, man. Take it to your synagogue. It really shows the redemptive qualities of Yahweh, man. It shows how he can take somebody who was just knee deep in the streets, in and out of prison, debauchery, all type of stuff, man, and change him. And especially for you Hebraists, man, get a copy, read it, man, and it really breaks down and shows you the depths that a man can sink in regard to debauchery, the moralization of women, just everything, man. Just go get a copy, man, today and read it, man. And if you do, go on Amazon.com, man, give me a review. That's where you can find the book, on Amazon.com, or you can download it on your Kindle. Amazon.com. Hebron Ben Bilal, The Three Woes. But once again, let me give a shameless plug to this channel. It is the Backyard Chronicles. If you haven't subscribed to it, go look me up, man. Hebron Ben Bilal, the Backyard Chronicles. Go and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, etc., etc. But without further ado, man, let's jump into this thing, man, and talk about this woman here, man. Y'all all know her. Majority of you know her, but you just don't know that you know her yet. Her name is Cheryl Keeler Davis. Cheryl Keeler Davis is the author of this book, My Princess Boy. Now, you're probably asking, well, okay, Hebron, I never even heard of this book, but how do I know her? And you keep saying that I know her, because not only is Cheryl Keeler Davis, and she published this book in 2009, not only is she the publisher and author of this book, she is also the founder and pushes this. Yes, boys can be princesses too. She is the one behind this. Now, before I get into this, really in depth into this, I want you to understand that there is a more nefarious underlying thing with this. And she might not even truly be aware of it. I don't believe that she's aware of it, but it's coming. It's very sinister. And it's attached to the whole homosexuality movement. So, but this thing here, man, it's an abomination. And once again, if you just take a quick look, just look at all the children that they have in every image. And then it's always a woman promoting this garbage. And then why do they got to go get ours and use ours? That's the question I asked. But I had the answer to that question. Because Miss Cheryl Keeler Davis, this whole premise of boys can be princesses too, came or derived from the fact that her young son liked to dress up as a woman. Now, I take exception to this whole thing for a lot of different reasons. Me being an Israelite, I take exception with this for so many different reasons. But the one thing I take exception to is the fact that you women keep trying to force these young men into being homosexuals at ages 5, 6, and 7, as young as that. I don't even believe in homosexuality, but the fact that you're trying to push these children into this position of being homosexuals just because they show a little feminine, switch, or they like dressing up as girls, playing with girls stuff, you automatically say, oh, he's gay. Do you understand the definition of homosexuality? The definition of homosexuality, the technical definition of homosexuality, is one who is attracted to the same sex, or one who is engaging in homosexual acts, which means that they're engaging sexually with the same sex. So how can a child at the age 5, 6, or 7 be deemed as a homosexual? They don't even understand the laws of attraction yet. They're not attracted to anyone. They're just playing, house and dress up and stuff like that. But see, y'all push them into this mold. So this is basically what you've done with your son, Miss Cheryl Keeler Davis. But once again, if you think about the progression, and I'm gonna get into this really intense and deeply, because if you think about the progression of her movement, remember she wrote her book in 2009. It's a reason that this thing has progressed so slowly. 2009, she wrote the book. 2012, she did a TED Talk in regard to it. A lot of you don't know what TED Talk is. It's this platform where public speakers can go and they get a platform and they talk to a wide variety of people and they promote their message. But the whole TED Talk Foundation or platform has to agree on your message. So they agreed on her message and she went on there and she discussed this whole thing here. So now, 2012, 2015, you look at 2019, now she is now coming out with this whole boys can be princesses too movement, which makes zero sense, but it does make sense because you always have something working in the back. And I don't believe that she is this nefarious, but you always have something working in the back. Now, remember what I've told you before about ripping off the Pandora's box in regard to homosexuality, that you should never have done it, that you women should have never pushed for it. Now you're complaining and fussing and fighting because you got these transgender males competing against natural females, and now they're coming through saying that you got to be labeled as cis women and forcing all this stuff on you, and now all of a sudden you're mad and frustrated. But see, now this agenda is different. Remember, all of these agendas are different. Transgenders are different from gays. The gender fluid are different from all of them, so they all have their own thing. Now, once that box was open and all this started coming out, you still got one unheard from group. And I told you about them before. NAMBLA. Congratulations, everyone. Now you get to see that I was telling you the truth about NAMBLA and that they are coming. This is their actual news bulletin. Look at the boy on the front, man. Are you serious? Yes, they have an actual newsletter. NAMBLA is an actual entity, a group. They are an actual group that exists. So what NAMBLA stands for, it's an acronym. It stands for North America, I got my copious notes up here, North American Man-Boy Love Association. Let me say that again. This up here, it means North America Man-Boy Love Association. Yes, sir. And they actually have memberships. You can sign up and be a part of it. They're not hiding anything. They are telling you, hey, look, we love little boys. But let me give you the backstory about NAMBLA. NAMBLA started I got my notes here. NAMBLA was founded in 1979 in Boston. It was founded by gays and lesbians. It was founded in Boston by gays and lesbians who were being persecuted. So they came together and they founded this organization. Remember, they're deemed homosexuals because but their preference is young boys. Transgenders' preference is whatever. The gender fluid's preference is whatever. The gays as a whole, I guess, their preference is the same sex. So remember, they fall under the umbrella of homosexuality. So, yes, they are waiting for that age of consent to drop. And I've been telling you guys this. So let's get to the age of consent argument, because some of y'all are sitting there and saying, well, no, they can't do that, remove that. Yes, there is a movement now. And if you're looking right there in those links, those two links, those are actually two websites that they started, not NAMBLA, that they started in 2015 and are active right now today. Because see, all of these things are agenda based, and they start them years and years and years ago, and they just allow it to continue to go until it's time to kick the door in. See, now is the time that they're getting ready to kick the door in. See, these websites have been up since 2015. They've been taking polls in regard to people and believing that they should drop the age of consent. Inside of NAMBLA's newsletter, if you go on the site, check it out, whatever, they talk about how they are battling the age of consent and that it should be lowered. That they are vigorously battling the age of consent of sexual activity and that it should be lowered. Now, check out the hook. This is their actual newsletter, man. This is NAMBLA. The North American Man-Boy Love Association. It exists. See, a lot of y'all thought I was playing. But see, here's the hook once again. See, that woman, Cheryl Killer Davis, she thinks that what she's doing is a device of her own. But see, they're allowing her to, y'all see where I'm going with this, slowly matriculate. Now she's full blown with this. And all of her supporters are women. And man, she got a slew of them. But see, once again, once you pull that Pandora's box off, that top off, everything starts coming out. Now, guess what's getting ready to crawl out of it now? NAMBLA. Bam! This here is Ted Cruz, a senator of Texas. Yes. They say don't nothing come out of Texas steers and queers. I don't know if that's true, but I do know it's a boy lover down there. And it's your senator. This guy was the runner-up, the national runner-up in regard to the presidential race, I think the Republican side or something. Anyway, he's a part of NAMBLA. If that's him, again, Ted Cruz. If you read that little article next to him, the founder of NAMBLA made a statement about him. He said, we endorse Ted Cruz. Not only do we endorse him, but he is a honored member of NAMBLA. One that we know will push our agenda. He embodies and encompasses everything that we believe in and stand for. And we know that he will continue to push our agenda. Did Ted Cruz deny it? No, never came out and said. See, here's how these things work. They put the pieces in place of where they needed to go and where they needed to be. So right now, when they set up that website, they put Ted Cruz where he needed to be. Because NAMBLA is NAMBLA has some elite people and key players in it. So understand, that's been a part of their culture for the longest. Greece, Alexander the Great, everywhere he went, he kept a boy with him. In Rome, this is what they do. This is a part of their culture. So anyway, they got Ted Cruz. He's a senator in Texas. So when it's time to really kick that door in, and this is why they set up those websites, so they can continue to test the temperature of what you guys think in regard to the age of consent. If you go on there and you read some of those things, man, some of them say as low as 11. They believe that it should be lower than 65% who've gone on that site say that, the age of consent should lower. Now, let's take it a step further, because not only is Ted Cruz in place where he needs to be, this guy, Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz is a lawyer that represented Epstein. That was Epstein's lawyer, plus that's Epstein's partner before Epstein died. And Dershowitz made some comments in regard to the age of consent. And this is an echoing sentiment that's being really pervasive and pushed throughout the legal system by the lawyers. They're saying that the age of consent, and this is just, if you read that, he says that, man, those laws are outdated, man. Age of consent needs to be lowered. He said, we'll compromise and we'll take 15. Drop it to the age of 15. Now the rule of thumb or the thought and the argument that is being pushed all throughout the court system that lawyers are using now is saying, look, the age of consent needs to be lowered because this is what lawyers are saying now. The age of consent needs to be lowered because a girl as young as 14 can go have an abortion without the consent of her parents. So they should be able to lower the age of consent. Dershowitz went on to say that the age of consent should be lowered because young women are already having sex with young dudes. So why not lower the age of consent so that they can have sex with older dudes? It's only right. This is what he said. Hey man, I'm not making it up. This is why I did this dual screen. And Jack, we got it, baby. So this is what he said. And he came under fire. But they were just throwing it out there just to see how y'all felt. But trust me, once they get that age of consent lowered to 15, they're going to slap it onto another bill that y'all going to flock to. And y'all going to usher in. And it's going to usher that thing to be lowered. But see, it doesn't have anything to do with the young girls. It has everything to do with them princesses and dresses. Yes, sir. See, she doesn't even know that she's an unwitting participant in preparing a generation of boys for this NAMBLA movement. See, you can't stop the NAMBLA movement because it was birthed out of the homosexual movement. It was established by gays. So you can't take NAMBLA and detach it from the homosexual movement. It is one and the same. If you go on their newsletter, they tell you. And I know a lot of you brothers, the Israelites, is listening to this and saying, man, this is crazy, man. Why is he even talking about this? Because this is what surrounds us. It doesn't affect us because we don't practice this, nor will we allow our children around this type of activity. We don't promote it, we don't listen to it, we don't view it. But you have to understand we need to be consciously aware of what's going on around us. And this is why I bring these messages on the Backyard Chronicle, because of the fact that we need to be consciously aware of what's being cooked around us. So this woman is an unwitting participant in preparing a next generation for what comes next with the whole homosexual movement. See, the homosexual movement wasn't about promoting homosexuality. It was promoted because of genetic survival. And I'm not going to really do a deep dive into that, but I'm going to say this. What they initially did was allow that idea of homosexuality to creep into our communities. Man, I did almost 15 years in prison. When I got out, homosexuality is so rampant in our communities that all I see is men on men, girl on girl. That's all I see. And now I want you to watch TV tonight, and then we'll get into this at another time. And I want you to inbox me. I want you to message me. I want you to go to the link. I want you to go down into the comments and comment, watch TV tonight and watch the commercials. Look at the groundswell in regard to the mixed couple movement. Look at the groundswell in regard to the mixed couple movement. It's being perpetrated in movies. It's being promoted on commercials, TVs, sitcoms, everything, everywhere. Blackish, mixed-ish. They're promoting it everywhere. But see, the way that they're promoting it, they're not showing you black men with white women. When you watch these commercials, all of them, maybe one is going to show you a black man with a white woman. All the other ones are going to show you the white man with the black woman. What's the reason for that? And we'll get into that later. But this woman here, she doesn't even understand that the powers that be are really behind her. This is why it's taken so long to evolve to where it is. Now it's a full groundswell, and at the same time, it's a groundswell on the other side that is promoting and saying, hey, listen, lower the age of consent. Trust me, within the next 5 years, that age of consent is going to be lowered, and you're going to have a bunch of boys in dresses ready for NAMBLA to swoop down and devour. This is what's going on. It's happening right in front of you. And this is why this is so dangerous. You've ripped off Pandora's box, and now you can't close it. And everything that they devise is coming to fruition. Man, I'm gonna cut it off right here, man, and I'm gonna just say, man, I love y'all, man, and this is what I do. I bring y'all information, some anecdotal, some informative, but man, this is how we kick it on the Backyard Chronicles, man. And if you have not subscribed, man, go online and subscribe now, man. Go to my YouTube page. It's the Backyard Chronicles by Hebron Ben Bilal. Pick up the book, hit that bell for notification, subscribe, and hit that bell for notification. Every Hebrew should be on this page. Every Hebrew. I should have 50 Hebrews signing up for this page today, man. Get my numbers up, man, because every day I'm going to start dropping videos. I got some ones that's really coming out that y'all going to love. But I have a great day, man. Great rest of your day. Great rest of your morning. And like I always say, man, Hebron Ben Bilal coming at you with these Backyard Chronicles, giving wisdom to the wise. And if you do not have an opinion or you do not know how to think, I just gave you an opinion. Love you and have a great rest of your day, man.